And of course, by the year 2060, Carlton Cuse and Damon Lindelof, creators of the TV show Lost, will have successfully explained to the satisfaction of all of their fans what the heck was going on that island. Yeah! New Orleans, when you come back in 2060, will again be a thriving metropolis, nary a FEMA trailer in sight, and it will have been rebuilt by the hands of the city's residents themselves, and the levees will be more solid than ever. The Gulf Coast will be cleaned up, perhaps just so, in 2060, and people will have remembered the immense tragedy that occurred in Haiti in January of 2010 as a reminder that injustice and vulnerabilities persist despite the absence of television footage about quote-unquote natural disasters. Halliburton stock will have, of course, slumped significantly after 2010, but will rise in value again years later as the company announces a partnership with the Grameen Bank to support women's cooperatives in Southeast Asia. The countries of Rwanda, Myanmar, and Nicaragua, among others, will have long since left behind poverty and disease, nearly eliminating malaria, tuberculosis, and AIDS within their borders. And they will also have used the memory of their troubled histories to help broker peace and prosperity in their regions of the world. At the same time, a broad-based movement to acknowledge the historical truths of the 20th and early 21st centuries will have led to the complete erasure of third world debt. And in 2050, a new Darfur will host the Olympic Games. Yeah. Having stopped, with the help of peacekeeping troops, the world's last genocide, which occurred in early 2010. So how on earth could all of these wonderful things come to pass? Imagine a commencement speaker in the early 19th century exhorting young Americans or Britons to abolish slavery as the affront to God that it surely was and is. Imagine an address in the early 20th century in which the speaker pushed for universal suffrage, arguing that an adult female should have equal voting rights as a male. Imagine a speaker in 1993, not so long ago, arguing that apartheid in South Africa was an insult not just to the notion of human rights, but also to the very idea of civilization itself. And imagine now a country looking back from 2060, thinking it quaint that not that long ago people thought it impossible that a woman or a black could be elected head of state in the US. History will certainly flow on like a certain famous philosophical river, even without your efforts to change its course by contributing your individual grain of sand. But remember that, as I can only assume, you did not choose to study anthropology, or geography for that matter, because it will make you rich and comfortable. Although your diploma will certainly unlock doors to society that you have yet to pass through, remember that the real substance of that piece of paper is not the access that it accords you. Rather, as an anthropologist, you have been trained to think about the state of humanity in its broadest sense, in complex and nuanced ways. You have been trained to sift through mounds of data with utmost patience, to think deeply, to listen carefully, and to be leery of easy answers, and to resist closing your mind to the difficult or unfamiliar ways of thinking. That is what anthropology is about, and your parents, family, friends in the audience should be proud of you for that. They should cultivate that, and they should not demean it. It was, after all, an anthropologist, Margaret Mead, who once said, "Never forget that a small group of thoughtful people can change the world. Indeed, it's the only thing that ever has." It is customary for graduation speakers to conclude by encouraging you that you all follow your dreams. Instead of doing that, however, I want to ask that you make sure that whatever your dreams may be, make sure that you make some room for helping to heal this wounded world. It desperately needs you. That way, when you return to Eugene, Oregon in 2060 for the class of 2010's 50th reunion, you can reminisce with some puzzlement about a past in which some people foolishly doubted that a small group of thoughtful people such as yourself could change the world. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you from the bottom of my heart for allowing me the great privilege of being part of this moment. Thank you all.
Thank Thank you, Joshua, for that vision of a utopian world. To that utopia, I want to add my fervent wish that they, in the future, have banned buses at graduations at the University of Oregon. We will now move...
One, a very important award, the Undergraduate Paper of the Year. And this year it is awarded to Nicole. This will be Melissa Baird, who's receiving her degree for The Politics of Place, Heritage, Identity, and the Epistemologies of Cultural Landscapes. Her advisor is Madonna Moss. Congratulations. Receiving the doctorate is Aaron Blackwell for his dissertation, Life History Trade-Offs in Growth and Immune Function, the Behavioral and Immunological Ecology of the Shuar of Amazonian Ecuador, an indigenous population in the midst of rapid economic and ecological change. His advisor is Larry Sugiyama. Erickson for her dissertation, Citizenship, Refugees and the State, Bosnians, Southern Sudanese, and social service providers in Fargo, North Dakota, and I'm her advisor. The last doctorate is awarded to Joshua Fisher for his dissertation, No Alternative Participation, Inequality, and the Meanings of Fair Trade in Nicaragua. His advisor is Lynn Stephen. There are several master students who were not able to be here, but I'd like to read their titles, their names, and their advisors. Molly Casperson, bird remains from the lower midden of the Mink Island site